Simulation theory challenges strong atheism. Strong atheism, or positive atheism, categorically denies the possible existence of deities or the afterlife. This is different than normal atheism and agnosticism. Strong atheism typically is rooted in the view that all spiritual belief is totally irrational and exists only as a psychological aberration that helps humans deal with uncertainty and the inevitability of death. However, many strong atheists grapple with existentialist questions like simulation theory. Simulation theory is a hypothesis that says what people perceive as reality is actually an advanced, hyper-realistic computer simulation, possibly overseen by a higher being. As agnostic philosopher Nick Bostrom notes, considering the progress of technology is largely unidirectional and the universe may have existed for infinite time, it is more probable than not that we live in a simulation. In our experience, we know simulations require energy, so to justify the cost of the energy, we run them for a purpose. This means if we live in a simulation, it almost certainly has a purpose. This purpose might be as a test. For example, we know an engineer might run a simulation on a bridge before it is built in real life. This is important as it tells us if it will collapse or remain standing in certain circumstances. However, instead of a bridge being tested, we could be tested. Instead of whether the bridge stands in certain circumstances, we could be evaluated for how we use our free will in different circumstances. To this end, every choice, thought, and feeling we have could be recorded as data for use in the final evaluation. This would explain the long-time historical human inkling that we are always being watched by something greater. For the bridge, the greater entity is the engineer. Like any good engineer, they want their creation to stand in the end. The engineer may try to make tweaks to the design, which will make the bridge stronger. In our case, unlike a bridge, we are allowed to reject desired changes because we have free will. Yet regardless of what we choose, at the end of the test, the engineer has to make a judgment. Is this bridge safe enough to build in reality? If it is built. If it isn't, the bridge is not built. An all-knowing, all-powerful entity presiding over a simulated reality to tune creations sounds a lot like other long-standing human notions of the divine and the afterlife. Of course, I can't prove we live in a simulation, but this does suggest that if you think there is a non-zero chance we do live in a simulation, it is logical to also take serious the non-zero chance that something like the divine and the afterlife exist. Beyond the significance of simulation theory, strong atheism requires asserting the existence of the afterlife or divine as absolutely impossible. To claim to absolutely know something is epistemologically dishonest, which means the claim to the absolute is made without evidence. This means it takes just as much faith to assert the divine and the afterlife absolutely do not exist, as it does to assert they absolutely do exist. Although strong atheism presupposes a commitment to evidence, it sits on faith. This is a significant paradox, so you probably shouldn't be a strong atheist.